One of the things that people oftentimes come to me about is like, well, I'm not techie, or I don't think that, or they're hesitant, or, imposter syndrome, things like that people oftentimes bring up. And people are like, well, Cyrus, how do you do it? And I just tell them, like, I just put my head down, I just work. Like, it's like, I don't feel techie at all. I still don't think I'm techie. Nevertheless, I'm doing well in this industry and in this space.
They want you to be personable. That's like the people that you're meeting with, especially when you're like business to business or even business B2C, business to consumer. You're speaking with people that a lot of times aren't techie. So they want you to, they don't like, I've been in the industry for a long time. So I've kind of like learned the mannerisms. So like, even now I'm speaking, I probably sound like I'm techie, but I'm so used to it. But they chose you, your jobs you work now chose you because you're personable. You can walk to a room with a business person and they feel comfortable. If a person comes in that room and speaks too techie, they'll feel like you're speaking information they don't understand. Yeah. And they won't necessarily want to buy a product if they feel like it's too understandable for them.
Yeah, too complicated. Yeah, because one of the things people don't get is that when you work in tech, particularly some of these customer facing roles or consultative roles, is that when you're talking to whether it's the CEO of a company or a C-suite exec, unless you're talking to the CTO or whoever's over the technology of that company, whoever it is you're speaking to, they just want stuff in layman's terms, and they want to feel like they're talking to a human and not a robot. They want to feel like they're talking to someone that, okay, you're a genuine, personable person. So I love everything you're saying, because it's like, it's so crazy because people ask me this question, and the way that you just communicated it, I'm like, man, I think it's just incredibly, like, just very perfect. And I love you touching on the aspect of, you've been in this space for a while, so you know the slang, you know the lingo, like you're using some of the acronyms that are familiar within the software industry, but people don't need to be afraid of that when they hear you talking like that. It's like, well, no, it just comes with the territory. If you're in this space long enough, you're going to pick up on the lingo, you're going to pick up on the slang, you're going to pick up on the jargon and stuff.
And honestly, it's an advantage if you haven't picked up on it yet. For the people that want to get into it, it's an advantage if you haven't picked up on it yet, because you're still more personable.
That's real. Yeah, that's real. Yeah, you don't sound like a puppy. You don't sound like, okay, you're just another cookie cutter, person in this space. Oh, you're a real person who is communicating this information to me in a way that doesn't sound like you're just regurgitating, acronyms and regurgitating terms, but you're just speaking to me, breaking stuff down in like a simple way.
Exactly. It's very simple, especially when you really think about it. And also you're proof that you can go in the boot camp, not have a tech background, and excel. And then your story of excelling is far above, median tech incomes and things like that. So even if a person feels like they may not have the capacity that you did to excel at your level, even if they were to find a job $60,000, $70,000 less, you're still above six figures. You're still at $80,000 entry level. Then 6 months in, working and being immersed in that environment, you'll pick it up. Then you'll be good. But to sit there and say that I don't think I can do this because I'm not techie, you're selling yourself short. Like, the job is going to have to tell me no. I would have to get so many rejections that I ran out of jobs to apply for before I would take no for an answer. Yeah, remote work, 6-figure salary. I'm going to apply until every day, all day. You have to have that type of mentality. Like, the job is going to tell me no. I'm not going to tell myself no.
Yeah. No, that's very real. It's funny because some people, I know a guy who he hit me up recently. He was saying it was after 2 months. He finished the boot camp, and 2 months later, he hit me up. And this was just 3 weeks ago. He hit me up and he was like, man, I'm not getting a job. Man, these companies are racist. And I was like, well, why do you think they're racist? Oh, because they're not hiring me. He was like, yeah, they're not hiring me. And, I'm not getting a job. I said, dude, it's been 2 months. Bro, calm down. Like, most people don't get a job after 2 months of finishing a boot camp. Like, chill out. And I just told him, like, dude, put your head down and put the work in. And people ask me, people tell me about how often they get rejected. And I'm like, I got rejected so many times. I just didn't care. I was like, I'm gonna get in this space one way or another. And I don't know if you saw, maybe you were just kind of referencing this, but someone mentioned, people ask me this all the time. They're like, well, I'm looking at the roles and I don't qualify. And I'm like, I didn't look to see if I qualified. I just applied. And the company I actually got hired at, I didn't qualify. I literally didn't look at the qualifications for the role until they emailed me and confirmed an interview. Then I was okay, let me actually look at the description, make sure I'm prepared for the interview. And when I looked over the description, it said they needed someone who was well-versed in a couple different programming languages, and that they had, had 2 or 3 years experience. I had no experience. I had a boot camp. I still to this day don't know any programming languages. And in my first interview with them, I told them, I said, hey, I'm gonna tell y'all straight up, I don't know how to code or program. And the guy who ended up becoming my manager, he said, cool, I don't either. And we both bust out laughing. We never talked about like programming, and I never had to when I was at that company. So it's like people can't allow, like they just like put your head down, put in the work. And it's like let them tell you no, and don't allow your own doubts and fears to tell you no.
Let HR do their job and filter through your resume. You know, still send it anyway.
Yeah, and let HR do their job.
Exactly. And then for like repetitive like replying, you can LinkedIn, once you like fill out your LinkedIn, you can download a LinkedIn template that makes your resume for you, and it's specifically designed so that when you do the autofill engine, it autofills correctly. Because when I did my resume myself, I always had to go in and fill in the dates
because it will mess everything up out of order. I literally just had a Microsoft recruiter on, and she was sharing how more often than not people when they upload their resume it puts things out of order. But you're saying, man, that's crazy. Say that again and explain that so that I make sure everybody hears that.
If you go on your LinkedIn profile, you can either hit the there's like the 3 dots for the menu, and it'll either be download as PDF, which will download your profile, but then there's a create a resume part right there. You click on that, and LinkedIn will curate and create a resume based off of your profile, and it'll have like, if you worked at like, let's say Target, it'll have the Target logo beside Target. It'll have it all organized and very neat. But the way that their template is specifically designed, it's designed so that the autofill engine autofills and finds everything you need correctly. So you'll no longer have to go in and manually fill in data, so you can like apply to jobs a lot easier.
Bro, that's a hack. Not even a hack. That's just information that I didn't know about, and I know a crap ton of other people didn't know about, but that's going to be extremely, extremely helpful.